Oh, lads, Angel Reese has been killing it. She's been killing it. And I'm not gonna lie, like, she's been really good. But the usual has happened. The usual has now happened. She's killing it. And she goes a little bit too far. Writing checks that she now has to cash. She now has to cash these checks. Because she is essentially as good as said in the public that she's better than Caitlin Clark.
Angel Reese just lit a match and tossed it straight into the WNBA drama. And no, this wasn't just a shot at Caitlin Clark or the Fever. She basically put the entire rookie class on notice. So what exactly did she say? Why are fans going wild? And is this fearless confidence, or pure chaos unfolding in real time? One thing's for sure, Angel didn't come to keep the peace. She came to shake the table, flip the script, and leave everything burning behind her. Let's break it all down.
See you, Angel Reese. Uncle KC sees you. I see that false bravado. I see you all excited. We've won 2 consecutive games. My pretend friends in the media are telling me that we're on something called a winning streak. My team is hot, hot, hot. Woohoo! Yes, yes, yes. The rumors are indeed true. For the second time this season, the Chicago Bravado have managed to win back-to-back games.
Oh, so now we're the problem for paying attention? That's cute. Because when Angel Reese grabs a metaphorical megaphone, covers herself in spotlight energy, and blasts a headline-worthy take into an already chaotic league, you don't just ignore it, you react. You break it down. You side-eye it, and then, yeah, you circle back and talk about it again. That's the deal when someone decides to step into the spotlight and play the main character in a league that was already full of storylines.
Okay, in the game, Angel Reese played a great game. Angel Reese had 19 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. And she was able to give an interview after the game and made a very interesting comment. And in pure old Angel Reese fashion, talked smack after the game.
And here's the real twist. The same crowd yelling "stop giving her attention" are the first ones refreshing their feeds like it's a full-time job, just waiting on Angel Reese to drop another cryptic line, throw a little side-eye in a press conference, or post something that definitely isn't subtle. Let's not pretend we've all moved on while still gripping that Team Reese energy like it's priceless. You don't camp outside the spotlight and then act surprised when it turns on again.
It is something that, you know, we need to talk about it. It needs to be talked about because you've now got Angel Reese coming out and saying this.
It's a great win in front of our home crowd. Camila Cardoso returns to the starting lineup. You both finished with double-doubles. She ends up with an incredible block on Courtney Williams to end the game as well. What are some things that you saw in her in that tandem that you guys had today? Somebody said we wasn't the best young core in the league. I think we're the best young core in the league, for sure. Hands down, the skyscrapers, we do it every single night. So I'm really proud of everybody.
We're hands down the best young core in the league.
But sure, let's go with that version. Let's say we're the problem. Not the constant commentary, not the knowing smirks, not that strange energy that pops up anytime Caitlin Clark gets mentioned without a disclaimer attached. Let's pretend Angel Reese is just quietly minding her business while the world randomly drags her into the spotlight. Meanwhile, she's standing right there, hands full of gasoline, making eye contact like, "Go ahead, say something." At that point, it's not accidental attention. It's a full-on invitation.
For the first time this season, the Chicago Bravado actually beat a team with a winning record. According to Angel Reese, this one win, this one victory in the middle of July, it makes the Chicago Bravado the best young team in the WNBA.
And if we're really going to play this stop talking about her game, then someone needs to explain why Angel Reese keeps serving up fresh headlines like clockwork. Every 48 hours, it's something new. Say less, say more, then somehow say even more, and then act surprised when the conversation doesn't die. That's like throwing a pie in someone's face and being shocked they react. What exactly was the expectation there? Now let's get into the ego, because wow, confidence? Necessary. Swagger? Part of the game. But there's a difference between competitive fire and moving like you personally wrote the blueprint for basketball. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark and the Fever storyline keeps stacking receipts. Back-to-back Rookie of the Year level impact on the same squad? That's the kind of foundation most franchises dream about. The kind that should have the rest of the league quietly rethinking everything. And yet somehow that narrative keeps getting sidetracked, because right on cue, it's another episode of Wait, I'm Being Misunderstood.
She makes everyone around her better. She's not shooting that well, but she still is the best player on the floor. She still is the person that sets the pace of the game. She's still White Jesus. Cry harder, Marvin. Cry harder. The shots are gonna fall. The shots are gonna fall. It's okay. It's okay. You just keep watching.
Let's actually lay it out clearly. You've got two of the most impactful young stars in the league, Caitlin Clark, an all-time scoring machine, and Angel Reese, a relentless double-double presence. That's not just promising, that's the kind of core that shifts a franchise's entire future. For the Indiana Fever, that's a foundation most teams would kill to build. Your Monopoly analogy isn't even far off. This is Boardwalk and Park Place territory. And yeah, the rest of the league should be paying attention. But here's where things get messy. The conversation keeps getting hijacked by emotion instead of staying about basketball. Every compliment toward Clark somehow turns into a perceived slight against Reese, and that's where the discourse starts to fall apart. It turns everything into a forced rivalry instead of letting each player stand on what they actually do on the court. And the fan reactions? That's a whole other layer. There's a tendency, especially online, to treat any critique like it's disrespect. Point out a defensive gap or inconsistency, and suddenly it's framed as bias instead of analysis. But being loud, visible, or constantly in the spotlight doesn't automatically equal being beyond criticism. At the same time, it cuts both ways. Dismissing Reese entirely because of the noise around her also misses the reality of what she brings. She is productive. She does impact games. The real issue isn't who's better, it's how quickly the conversation turns extreme. One side overhypes, the other overcorrects, and the actual basketball gets buried under takes, reactions, and agendas.
So Angel Reese, the most toxic player in all of basketball, is out here slapping clipboards out of her coaching staff's hand because she's so mad her team committed a foul in the crunch after she shot 15 free throws this game. This is the lowest of the low disrespect that you can show to your coaching staff. She trying to get y'all locked in, worried about the next play, and you so toxic with your terrible, awful attitude that you slap the clipboard out of her hand.
Because here's the part people keep dodging: consistency. Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston show up, game after game. No theatrics needed. They just produce. That's the real flex. When your performance does all the talking and the numbers back it up without needing subtitles. Meanwhile, the irony writes itself. The same voices complaining about Clark's media coverage are reposting every single move from Angel Reese like it's headline news carved in stone. Every glance, every quote turns into a moment, a meme, a movement. But when the spotlight shifts to winning and production, suddenly it's framed as bias or some grand media agenda. And look, no one's denying Reese has talent. She absolutely does. But talent alone doesn't build a franchise. The league is full of next big things that never turned into long-term dominance. What separates the greats is awareness, leadership, and yeah, sometimes a little humility to let the game speak first. That's the bigger picture here. This isn't even the peak yet. It's the early phase of something that could turn into long-term dominance, especially for a team like the Indiana Fever. And instead of letting that story develop naturally, the narrative keeps getting sidetracked by vibes, reactions, and vague shots that pull attention away from what actually matters: sustained performance over time.